What is going on, everybody? This is Liam from Teal, and as we approach 2024, we thought it'd be a good idea to do a little back to the core roots and go over how to make a great resume for next year. Now, the resume builder we're going to be using today is the Teal resume builder. Ours. And as we go through the steps, you'll see how we recommend building a resume and also how the tool helps make that happen. It's free, by the way, so if you want to check it out, there it is. But with the intro out of the way, like the video, let's do this. Step 1 to creating your 2024 resume. We're going to run this top to bottom. First is contact information. This is, of course, all the detail on how a recruiter or a hiring manager will reach you. It's going to be your full name, phone number, professional email, just city and state for the address is fine. LinkedIn profile URL, not a hyperlink, and then a portfolio link if that is applicable to your industry. Best practice here. Simple. This should not be an overwhelming section to write or read on the receiving end. Step 2, next thing down is a target title. As the name suggests, this is not your current title, this is the one you are going for. Best practice here is to match it to the title on the job description for the job that you're applying for. Otherwise, it'll look like you want to be applying for something else that you're not actually. Step 3, following the target title is your professional summary. Now, this might be a new thing for your resume, and what this is effectively an elevator pitch of your career value. It's only going to be a few sentences long, and in it, you're going to have your years of experience in the industry you're in, top skills that make you a high marketable employee, and then 2 or 3 achievements that show your skills in action. Best practice here, high value and concise. This can very easily become just a huge block of text, so keep it simple because of course you have more achievements in the rest of your resume. We do also have a full video on just professional summary, so hit the card at the top right corner to head there if you would like some more information. Step number 4, but speaking of achievements, your work history is next. This is the area that of course many are familiar with, but also maybe a bit confused with. Yes, you are going to have the basics, your title, the company, the date range you were there, and then position type. But for what you actually put in each bullet, the best practice here is to not write tasks under each job. You want to write achievements. An example I like to use for what that difference is, a task would look like managed company social media, but an achievement would look like grew TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube channels 150% in 3 months, leading to increased brand awareness and 25% website traffic month over month. Can you see the difference there? One is just talking about your responsibility. There's no kind of personal value going on there. And the other does display your value in experience and skills. Just make sure the achievements that you are listing here are going to be relevant for the job that you're going for. And again, we have a number of videos just on resume achievements, also with more specific examples. So if you'd like more information, definitely head there. But step 5, moving on, after work achievements is education. This is, of course, your academic background, degree, the college you went to, date range as well. And how recently you graduated is going to depend on how much detail you include here. If you're 5+ years into your career, just the main information is probably good. Work experience is going to be more important there. But if you've just graduated in the last, couple years, education does play more of a factor. So if you had something like a great GPA, include it. Won an award or some kind of recognition, include it. And like work experience, include some awesome relevant achievements to flesh out your background. Best practice here is, like everything, focus on what's relevant. If you have relevant professional achievements or something similar from school, that's good. But if you're thinking of adding personal stuff clubs, hobbies, interests to try to hit that almost well-rounded personality angle, that's not what this is for. Now, moving down once again, step 6 is your skills section. This is probably the last section most resumes will have. And the best practice here is to give kind of a skill set snapshot. That's going to allow a hiring manager to quickly assess your fit for the role without having to read the whole resume. And you want to focus on hard skills here. If you look at the job description or use the Teal job tracker to have the keywords extracted for you, the hard skills are the top priority things of the job. Technical things, major responsibilities, skills, the things that will make you qualified for a role, and then what you will use to succeed in the role. That's what you want to put here in that skills section. Couple tips here. This is another place that can very easily become just a text wall. So you don't want a million things, just the best stuff. And then also order them in highest priority. If you're applying to something like a software job, it's probably best to put the languages at the beginning compared to at the end. Now, those are the main sections of a resume. You get those in, you're probably 90% covered and certainly 90% of the way there. But of course, there are different experience cases and scenarios. So let's go over a couple. First off, if you have any relevant experience that you've gained outside a normal job. Projects is a good place for that. Something like freelance work, personal projects, add it here. This will be and show up as a different section on your resume compared to work experience, but you'll add in the experience the same way to showcase your value, also kind of in that same way. And then also volunteering. This is going to be, again, another section of your resume. But again, if you have relevant experience gained through volunteering work, you want to add that. Now, shifting gears just a little bit, let's talk about resume order and layout. 2 notes here. If you just graduated and your education is kind of your main experience selling point, you want to put your education above your work experience so a hiring manager gets to this first. Or if you're pivoting careers or in an industry where software technical proficiency is a huge element, something called a hybrid resume might be the best order for you here. And this is where your skills section is actually closer to the top, right under your professional summary, and then whatever would be most relevant next, be it your education or your work experience. Keep those things in mind as you think about your order, but now that we're here in the design section of the resume builder, the final part to address is the layout. You'll notice here our resume looks pretty simple. That's a good thing. Flashy resumes aren't going to get you anywhere. If anything, they're going to distract and hurt your chances. So keep it simple. You want the content to be the main point of interest. As far as overall look goes, the Teal Resume Builder includes a few templates to choose from. And then from there, you can add an accent color to add a visual breakup, change the font, and other things like that. Best practice here is nothing distracting. What you want is a clear, a simple, and a legible resume. Then for the content itself, we recommend a reverse chronological experience section, so your most recent work appears first. That's pretty standard. And then the final aspect of your resume is the length. Now, this is another major factor that people are concerned about. You've probably heard that anything longer than 1 page is a hard no-go. And that's not completely true. If you have the relevant experience for a 2-page resume and everything is really high value there, 2 pages is completely okay. But what you don't want is a resume with just a lot of fluff. Unrelevant achievements, unrelevant work, personal elements like, interests and hobbies, take those out. Those aren't gonna help you no matter how long your resume is. And also, if your resume is awkwardly onto a second page, like just by a few lines, kind of like with any kind of writing document, just cut that back so it's 1 page nice and clean. But with that, that is your 2024 resume. And somehow still not even talking about every possible detail that we could. A resume is obviously a big, huge topic, so absolutely hit us down in the comments. If you have any additional questions, check the link in the description for a blog post text version of this topic that does have more granular detail. Also check out the Teal Resume Builder as you think about your next resume update. And until next time, take care.